Just to the King, King Charles III, his latest health scare. How seriously should we take it? As ever, let me explain. Morning, nice to see you. You're right, on a very busy London street. Don't worry, I have some with, yes, you know what I'm thinking. You've got to be careful in this pickpocket world. By the way, if you are coming to London, I see so many people literally not taking care of their product and all that sort of stuff. It's fascinating when you think, because, they've got them in their back pockets, all that. I tell everybody that I see, so if I see you, don't have a go at me when I say, why is your phone so visible? And it's funny, don't know if you find this, people get quite nasty, don't they, when you say, be careful of your phone. Yes, I know. I walked past a cafe the other day. Two girls sat there chatting away, two phones on the table. Wouldn't have taken seconds for anybody to come past on a bike and steal them, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, rant over, but you know how passionate I feel about that. Back as ever to your royal story of the day. His Majesty the King sadly has announced his forthcoming trip over to the wonderful country that is New Zealand is sadly no more. Now, the reason behind this is, of course, it's all about scale and time, and let's not forget pressure and demand. I think a lot of people forget just really the age bracket that the Queen Camilla, and His Majesty the King are in. As we've seen of late, His Majesty the King has undertaken incredible amounts of work. Personally, I think, and we're all, as we all know, very concerned about him at the recent trooping of the colour, of which he got soaked through, but as Camilla pointed out, wouldn't be told and wouldn't have an umbrella. All about duty, you understand that, yes. But what's interesting here moving forward is obviously a lot of people watching this show are very concerned about exactly the situation. Well, naturally, I put a call into the palace, and the palace told me that the bottom line is that this is the new format that they're working to. Now, this is interesting, the line, what they're working to, because the bottom line is this, that all could change, of course, depending on whether the doctors, the medics looking after His Majesty the King feel that he's in fact up to the trip. Now, what we do know, there's a larger gap in between sort of engagements and things out in Australia. He desperately wants to go over there. Let's not forget, this will be the very first trip by a monarch since 2011 over into the wonderful land that is in Australia. But what about New Zealand? Where do they land now? Well, according to sources, what they're trying to do is wonder if someone like, of course, His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, Prince William, could undertake that visit at some point. But it's all about the strategy and the time and the scale. And let's not forget what he's also battling through by looking after 3 children and, of course, his wife, the Princess of Wales. What it really does highlight, and really this is an important factor, I believe, is just what a silliness his youngest son, Prince Harry, has left His Majesty the King in. How vital could he have been to assist in situations like this? Of course, nobody knows the future, and we do know that both Harry and Meghan would very much like to be called upon, particularly to top up their brand, their whatever, to make sure that they could get into some kind of, back into royal life, as it were. But the bigger picture is this: moving forward, what we can tell you is His Majesty the King, at the time of this recording, the Australian trip is still on. Sadly, the New Zealand trip is not, but they're working on something. Maybe that could be future, maybe next year, 2025, who knows? But right now, very much up in the air. And what the palace courtiers are trying to do is play down this, because obviously they don't want this fear factor and conspiracy theories and all sorts of stuff circling around someone who's literally taking the supreme advice of his medical team. Now, I know, as I often say here on the show, everybody here on this channel wants to wish His Majesty the King, Queen Camilla, and of course Princess Catherine all the very best moving forward for the future. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.